TIFU by smoking meth for the first time last weekend. I was talking to someone on Grindr after work Friday and they wanted to try something different. I was initially hesitant because this person seemed like they were into some high-risk stuff and didn't disclose their status without me inquiring about it. Initially I said no and told them about the red flags. But I was thinking with my dick and not my head. Told myself I'm down to try new things, so I went. On my way home from work I turned the car around and drove to the location they sent me. I scoped out the perimeter and made my way into a parking spot. After keeping my wallet in the glove box, I got out of the car and walked up the stairs to the room. The door was unlocked, as agreed, and I walked into a dark room smelling of cheap cigarette smoke and the TV playing Family Guy. He was naked, laying on the bed with a cigarette in his hand. Slipping off my shoes and pants, I hopped onto the bed next to him. He insisted I take my shirt off too, to which I said no as I didn't want to stay very long. He started blowing me for a minute before stopping. He picked up his meth pipe, heated the bowl end, and blew a few mouthfuls of clouds. He asked if I wanted any and I said no. He continued back to blowing me again. I never planned to smoke meth. He took another break to smoke more, and when he offered this time, I said sure, I'll give it a try but only a little. I put my mouth on the stem end while he lit it, and then I inhaled like I would be smoking weed. My first impression? It tasted vile. I didn't feel anything either. He said I didn't do it right and lit it again, instructing me on how to drag it slowly and keep it in my mouth rather than my lungs, blowing it back out at the same pace. I felt something now. I was starting to feel like I was in a daze and my body was beginning to feel relaxed. My heart started to race and I began sweating. I stood up to go spit in the bathroom when I felt lightheaded all of a sudden. I didn't feel pleasure, rather a relaxation with some side effects. Immediately after my trip to the bathroom my dick went limp, shriveled up to a size smaller than it is flaccid. Was this because of the meth too? I came back to the bed and he went back to sucking me off. I just couldn't get hard. I got my phone out and started watching porn which he was sucking me off. By this point I knew I was limp. I think he knew it as well. He was okay with me watching porn. He was trying to invite someone else to fuck him while I watched, to which I said sure. He offered me more hits and I didn't refuse. I ended up hanging out there for 9 hours, most of which was spent watching porn. Before the sun came up, I washed myself off in the bathroom and got dressed. I felt a little different now. I was dehydrated, my heart was still beating faster than normal, my breaths were heavy. I was alert though, with a light dizziness. I left to my car and hopped on the road with my windows open to feel the crisp air. It felt like the scene from Pulp Fiction where John Travolta is driving high on heroin to go pick up Uma Thurman for dinner. I couldn't feel the speed of the car. I was only going 5 miles per hour above the speed limit. I got home in the early morning, sprayed my car with Ozium, and retreated to my bed. I was completely awake. Although I wanted to rest, my mind was still active. For the next 8 hours, I was masturbating my micropenis to TikTok. Something I didn't have to do, but I didn't want to leave the bed. I'm uncut, so it hurt to pull the foreskin back. By the end of it, my body was completely sore from being idle for so long. When I left the bed to go to the bathroom was when I was really starting to feel disgusting. I had a scent of dried sweat with meth odor. I saw my face in the mirror, it was very oily. With clean hands, I touched my face and it left a black tar-like residue on my fingertips and on my nail. There was also this weird dehydration-type loopy headache. I took a hot shower, leaving nothing to chance. Scrubbing my face with a facial scrub, washing my hair with 2 rounds of shampoo and beard wash routine, and clipped my finger and toenails. However, the disgusting smell was lingering all over me. Bottled water didn't taste right on my tongue. I sprayed some cologne on myself and got to work on sanitizing everything I touched down to the doorknobs. I threw my sheets and clothes in the wash. I've never felt this grossed out before. That awful smell was still coming out of the pores of my palms. I'm glad I have ADHD because I didn't feel the intense pleasurable sensation that is in the literature. It felt closer to an amped-up feeling when I used to be on meds, which I didn't enjoy. I also wasn't really hungry either. I did take a short nap to rest my brain. TLDR. Made a stupid choice and am now dealing with the consequences. Will never do meth again. Don't be curious like me and avoid it altogether. It's disgusting IDK how others do it. Edit. I didn't think this post would get so much attention from the community. Thank you to everyone who has shared their thoughts. I really appreciate it. This has been an awakening for me and I plan to make smart decisions like an adult moving forward. And no meth. Deleted my Grindr account too. Update. I felt low for a few days, like desensitized to a point where I was just going with the motions. It was depression mood. I also had a weird leg muscle cramp that wouldn't go away no matter how much I stretched. The lingering scent was now imprinted in my psyche. After holding my phone for so long, the smell permeated into my phone case and I couldn't clean it off. I threw it away. And the craziest thing, I was on the road and a driver in a car with shit exhaust passed me that smell reminded me of meth. I immediately felt grossed out. Ew. On the bright side, I'm not craving meth.